Okay.
Are there other departments when you move in? We heard workman's comp, perhaps areas privatization. We've heard prisons this past week. I mean, is that from the out of the gate?
Prisons, yeah. I mean, privatization with a lot of the activities in the prisons or with some of the prisons is definitely on the table. I mean, we talked about the turnpike, we talked about the prisons. We're going to talk about, you know, we're going to look at privatization in lots of things. Jim, it's not an answer to everything, but where it makes sense. Again, I have to tell you, the great thing is we're just looking at everything. I have no constraints. It's impossible that this could be the case, you know, for somebody to be elected governor of Ohio or any major position and not have any constraints. I have none. I think there have been a lot of things not done in this state for political reasons. We're going to take care of that and do my best. I'm going over to ceremony this afternoon to honor Bill Harris. I'll shake a lot of hands and maybe see if I have to wash a few cars or shine a few pairs of shoes with the legislature, but they're important. We try to communicate with them. We have a major opportunity to restructure great pieces of the state of Ohio to make it more effective, more efficient, more innovative, more attractive, more appealing, and more jobs friendly. Wow. Great. Hallelujah.
Speaking of Senator Harris, have you or your team communicated to him any more clarity as to which appointments from Dr.
I haven't. I haven't talked to him for a while. I don't think we have, but I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know what conversations Beth Hansen may have had, but I'm not involved in trying. I think that Bill Harris knows the appointments that he thinks that are really important. And I don't think we've had to coach him on any of it. I think he kind of gets it, you know. Obviously this casino commission, I think the CERB board. I mean, these are things that we'd like to have control over. But I think they're doing a very good job over there trying to sort through. I've just not had anybody come in and say, "Hey, John, you need to make a phone call." And they have to work their will. And Bill Harris is done a great job on this, and so has Tom Niehaus. I'm really appreciative of the way they've looked at this.
Talking about making the state more business friendly, jobs friendly. Again, getting back to agriculture, that's what I write about agribusiness farming in terms of friendly from a standpoint of environmental regulation or limitations on size due to animal welfare concerns. What's your take on a business-friendly environment for agriculture?
Well, Jim Zeringer's working through this deal made with the Humane Society. He's crossing T's and dotting I's. I think he's visiting with a lot of the different commodity groups to get buy-in. And my feeling is, look, I like to say some things that I think about it, but I'm not going to. But I don't want this to happen again. I don't want outsiders coming in and trying to tell us how to do our business in the state. Some people are talking about, I don't want to open this door because I'll be talking about this for a week, but people being able to raise a lot of money outside the state, come in here and tell the state how to do their business is not something that's all that appealing to me. And let me just leave it there. Maybe we ought to take a look at how these initiatives are run, but that's all I would offer on that. In terms of, we look at agriculture, look, it's huge. Today, I mean, the health connection between agriculture, it's terrific. The soy connection with bioproducts, fantastic. And it's our strongest industry. So let's take advantage of it. Let's find some new markets. And then I think we need to think about, can we bring into the state of Ohio some agriculture-related industry, seed, implements, components of plows and tractors, and Now I've been governor-elect for about a month. I think we've got a lot of things going. Been a lot of places. I'm very excited, but we have to deliver. We have to have our own metrics too. It can't be just Kasich demanding everybody else's metrics. I got to have my own metrics, and hopefully they'll be good. We'll see.
So if a lawmaker proposes a change to the initiative process, that's something that you would potentially support?
I think it's something that, we could think about, but, I don't want to, the only reason why I hesitate to bring something like that up is because I don't want that to distract me from our major mission, which is jobs. But if there are initiatives that can kill jobs, and here's why I bring it up. If the poultry industry looks at Ohio as a less favorable place to be, then that hurts our ability to attract poultry business. I don't like that. But they were faced with a decision they had to make as to whether they were going to lose the whole thing, whether they were going to have a result that was not acceptable. But, I mean, does it bother me that Hollywood could spend a lot of money to come into Ohio to tell us how to think? Yeah, it bothers me. It bothers every Ohioan. I think it even bothers Jack Fisher, who cut that deal.
Does Ohio State finally beat an SEC team in the Sugar Bowl?
We are going to beat Arkansas. I'm glad we're not playing LSU, but we're going to beat Arkansas. And, it was a great Michigan win, is all I can say. And I spoke to the team on Thanksgiving morning. And so I don't know whether I'm going to get a Buckeye for my hat this winter. But it was a great experience. Coach Tressel invited me to go and speak, and I got to meet my favorite player, this Sensenbacher. Is that his name? From Toledo. That was great. He's a nice boy. Came out, wanted to shake hands, and got a picture taken with my daughters, and it was great to be. It was great to be there. It was really a lot of fun. And but this basketball team, Jim, I don't know. I mean, they've got experience, and they've got Sullinger, right?
Right.
And a lot of other good young freshman players whose names I don't know.
So when you fill out your bracket, you'll take them to the very end?
I don't know. I think I think there is a great potential for this basketball team. But I think what Mata's done is that Mata's been able to now create a system where this one and gone business, which is just outrageous. Well, look, is it outrageous? It's outrageous for the fans. It's great for the student, right? I mean, the guy cashes in for $50 million, right? I mean, he's not making the money you're making, but but I think Mata's been able to figure out how to cycle them through. So if he loses one, he can fill the hole, and that steady stream makes us an elite team. But to Coach Tressel and the football team here, you kind of think about. There's two things that I think about. You look at Florida; they're having a terrible year. You look at Texas; they gave up football this year. I don't think they're playing this year. You have so many of the teams that go through these dips, and Tressel always has us at the top. But the beautiful thing about it? There's no scandal. Tressel demands excellence from his players, and he seems to know how to bring out the best in them. And I think he develops real character. I think he's been terrific, and so it's good. But we're here today on agriculture. And
what did you say to the football team?
Well, I told him some things I'm not going to tell the media, but then I went on to look. I told him that it's once you run into that stadium, you're part of a legacy that never disappears. So one of the great moments in this campaign is when I got to go to Champ Henson's house, eat corn on the cob, tomatoes, and pork chops. And Champ Henson, I mean, that guy, Champ Henson, it just is so cool. And I took my daughters and I made sure that he had a DVD so we could watch him score all those touchdowns. And of course Archie I've known for a long time, and he's fantastic. But I pointed out Jesse Owens and that statue outside that stadium. And there's a man that was able to, under unbelievably terrible conditions, teach Adolf Hitler and the Nazis a big lesson heard around the world. And as a result, we've got a monument to him right outside that stadium. And so they just need to realize that it's about raising the bar, and I think they've done it this year.
Karen, last question.
Last question?
We got
Make it good.
I have a meeting with the Chinese. I don't think it's right to be late. I think I'm going to be late.
Well, then I'll ask you, last check in with you, you hadn't decided if you were going to move into the residence. Have you decided?
Well, Karen, first of all, I think I told you this. In my family, I make all the major decisions. Global warming, what we do with the problems of the Fed, and my wife makes the little decisions, which is where we live, where we go, what we eat, what we drive, and what we do. and I think I've really figured this marriage thing out. And she has not told me yet. She's, I think she's given it a lot of thought, but she hasn't told me. I know that.
What do your daughters think?
They haven't really said too much about that. They're not really all that taken by all this. There's certain things. My daughter Emma, my wife. I told my wife. I said, tell the girls that I'm going to go down to Washington and have a meeting with the president, just so they know. It's cool for a 10-year-old to know about their daddy, and all of it designed to try to get them to think about, help them grow up and be good girls. And Emma said to my wife, she said, Mommy, if Daddy's going down to have a meeting with the president, that's probably not going to go very well. So they're not, I mean, I don't know when this decision will get made, but there's a lot of people waiting, so she'll be in the spotlight for that.
I was going to ask you about Appalachian, Ohio, but I thought that would be a more fun
Appalachia,
question.
Ohio?
Well, in terms of you worry about jobs, you worry about agriculture. That's an area of the state that's been suffering with jobs.
Well, what you think about there is the potential to start wiring that place for more entrepreneurship. And Southern Ohio has got to be, it's all got to be a focus. So, I think about it. In fact, somebody had a really interesting idea that I've asked them to put down on a piece of paper, but I think it's, I think agriculture can help down there, but I think it's also how do we create connectivity which can spawn individual people to be able to be a successful entrepreneur. But we tend to focus on Appalachia, and we look up at Erie County, and the unemployment up there is just breathtaking. So it's all these different regions. Karen, I'm going to do every single thing I can, and the company I talked to today, they were thrilled with the conversation, thrilled. They said, we hope over the next 2 or 3 months we'll have a great announcement, and we're going to have a board meeting tomorrow. I said, I'll call into your board meeting, whatever you want. And a lot of these companies, I find, have never received any attention. Just nobody knows them. And think if you can keep, 2,000 jobs here in the state. I mean, that's a great win. So anyway, I got to go see if we can get some China.